I'm so pumped up. It says we're going live. I think we're live. We may be live right now. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Foos over here is panicking at the ammo prices that he's seeing as we prepare for today's episode of Caliber Corner. So welcome to the show, everybody. Foos, that's just going to make you depressed. You probably don't want to look at that any longer. We are looking at episode number 175, season 3 of the Caliber Corner podcast. Go ahead, Foos. Breaking news. What's going on?
Slug ammo, $1.60 around.
These are the end times, my friend. These are the end times for ammo purchasers.
Hold on. 2 3/4 inch Remington double-aught buck, $2.59 around.
Just don't shoot it. That's what it's going to come down to. Just don't shoot it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started and talk about today's topic, which is maybe we should be talking about shotguns at those kind of ammo prices. That's even worse than 9mm. So today we're talking about setting up your shotgun for home defense. It's not an easy topic because there are so many different makes and models and platforms out there and types of shotguns that you can get. We're going to start off with some of the more basic, more popular models. Look at some of the upgrades that are out there. Talk about ways you can set it up and make it more tactical or more usable in the home or around the home or to defend the homestead. And after that, we can also talk about some of the more specialized platforms like the Shockwave and some of the bullpups that are out there. And just anything that sounds really cool. If there's something that's a neat shotgun you want us to talk about or look at, go ahead and put that in the YouTube comments, and we'll definitely do that. So let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves, and we'll give a little shout out to the YouTubers that are watching today. Hello, everybody that's watching over on Facebook. Foos, let's start off with you. Go ahead and give us your intro and just, let us know what's going on in the world today.
Intro is prices are too damn high. I'm glad I reload, and I'm glad I've stocked up. Wow. But like when it comes to this, shotgun for home defense, buy a shotgun, whatever ammo you're going to have through it, run several boxes through, make sure it works, and then go.
True, but
don't worry about anything else.
There's a lot of things you got to take into consideration: barrel length, caliber, stock setup, any kind of tactical accessories. Do you want to run slugs? Do you want to run birdshot or buckshot? What do you want to do exactly? So now that's an argument for another time. Birdshot for home defense. We're not going to go there. We don't. You run whatever you want to run. That's a whole different episode.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had my home defense. Pause.
I don't know who's talking in the background. So let's go ahead and continue the panel introductions here real quick. All right, hold on. We'll go on. Yeah, go ahead, Foos.
That was me. I pulled up the YouTube to look at the chat. And
no problem, man. Don't worry about it. We got to get our cues all together here. All right, single shot in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah, we're westbound on I-40.
I was going to say I-80. I'm like, you're coming to Nebraska. Yeah, we'll see you this afternoon. You might want to go a little bit slower when you get here.
No kidding.
You're on 40?
I'm on I-40, yep, in Tennessee.
Huh, heading west or east?
I'm headed up I-81 here shortly. But I would like to say hi to everybody on the chats. Say good morning to everybody. We're headed back towards Maine. Had quite the adventure coming down through this last time. Had 2 snowstorms and got tied up in traffic on 3 major wrecks. So it's the time of the year. People got to get their wits about them. I'd like to make one safety note there, folks. It's winter time. Yep, we all know that. Please do not tailgate these trucks.
And I've got friends that live down in Texas, and they're freaking out right now because they're about to get dumped on today, and I think in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Just slow down. I understand you guys, pedal to the metal, stoplight to stoplight. But if you remember back in high school physics, an object in motion has a tendency to stay in motion. And when you've got brakes, they don't mean anything when you're on top of ice and snow. So just slow down a little. Take some time. Maybe leave an hour after everyone else so that way you can let the accidents happen before you go home. I mean, seriously, I hate to see anybody. I mean, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. We're already
the best way to avoid an accident is not to be there. And my point about not tailgating these trucks is we've got snow and ice on top of these things. And I can't be responsible for somebody that's tailgating and they're right up close and they catch a block of ice in the windshield or something.
You're,
don't do it.
Your all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive will get you going, but it isn't necessarily going to stop you better. Snow tires are a nice option, but you still got this mass moving. And I'm just saying, as somebody who's got a lifetime winter driving, I'm not that old, but I've been driving in crappy conditions for probably 25 years now. You know, you just got to slow down. It's what's an extra 5 or 10 minutes to get to where you want to go to get there in one piece, right?
Or if you do have to get out, do everything at once and then not get out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Ahead.
Go ahead and keep moving on here. Single Shot, tell us about your channel real quick. We'll get the panel introductions moving here. So what's your channel all about, Single Shot? What do you have to offer the viewer that's out there?
Well, I've got some reviews coming up on some equipment. That's one thing. I've got some new molds coming. They should be there by now. We're going to be doing a couple of casting videos of that. And I also have the new Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper powder scale. So we're going to be doing some reviews with that as well. And I got a couple of new pieces of equipment that I've got to get set up. I'm working with Little Crow Gunworks, and I'm putting some content out there with that product. I've already got, I think it's 1, maybe 2 videos out there. But we're all about the single shot variety of handguns and rifles, shotguns, and we do a lot of the work with those firearms. That's my forte. Hope to see everybody over there sometime.
And your channel, it's single space shot with an exclamation point at the end of shot, right? That's because when you try to look up single shot, there's a lot of single shot channels that are on YouTube, but you are the only single shot exclamation point channel that's out there. So,
right.
That's how we differentiate you from the rest there.
Yep.
All right. So Tommy Guns out there, we're having a little rivalry here on who's colder. Tommy Gun, I'm an American, so I don't understand the metric system. I'm being serious here. What is negative 30 degrees Celsius? I mean, is that I know like 20 degrees Celsius is warm and 30 is hot and 40 is really uncomfortable, but I don't know the metric system. I only know liters because of car engines or beverages, which is really sad. And a little bit of metric, I guess you could say, because of ammo. But yeah, I'm really kind of curious what that comes down to. I've been up to Canada before. I've heard it is brutal in the wintertime. It's not fun up there. Any place where they have like engine block heater plugs for your vehicle at the mall, you can tell you're in a serious cold climate area. That's what I saw when I was up in Winnipeg about 10 years ago. So
it's negative 30, negative 22 Fahrenheit.
Okay, that's pretty cold. We're going to be there on Monday, though, Tommy Gun. We're going to be there on Monday. So you come over here and we'll come hang out. We'll go make an igloo.
Yeah. Do you know how I figured that out? It's called Google for you.
Google? Yeah. That's what I usually do is convert. I have to convert to try to understand meters. I understand kilometers a little bit from watching Formula One racing, but and then also looking at my own speedometer. But anyway. All right, moving on. AWAG in the house. AWAG, what's going on? How's everything going, AWAG? You good?
Oh, yep, I'm good. I just had to find the unmute button.
It's all good, man. It's all good. What you been up to these days? You working hard or what? You hardly working?
Yep, working real hard, trying to make the money, get the cool things before the old man in office decides to ban it all. So I'm trying to get everything that I would ever want in as short amount of time as possible.
Well, this might be a Biden-friendly episode because we're going to talk about shotguns. There are tactical double barrels that you can buy. I mean, Stoeger makes them, Mossberg makes them, I think.
If I'm going to get a shotgun, the only shotgun that I would recommend, that if you're a rifle person and you're not into shotguns, the one shotgun I can recommend to you is a Benelli M4. It's expensive, but damn, are they awesome.
I got to hold one. They had a used one at Shields the other day. It was $17.99 used. It was like an FDE sort of variant color, like a dark brown, light tan. Beautiful, but I mean, brand new. I think I could get a new one for like $100 more if I wanted all black. But I got to tell you, I was surprised by how light it was. I thought it was going to be heavier. You think mil spec, it's going to be this just big unwielding beast. And it's really not. And that's something that we'll get into is should you just spend the money and buy an off the rack, just tactical ready, combat ready shotgun and just call it good instead of spending all this money on getting your current shotgun, to where you want it.
Or just go out and get one of those AK ones.
True, and that was
yeah.
Yeah, some of the like the Vepper style ones or something. I mean, there's so many different companies that make them, and then they got the Turkish ones, and you got the bull pups. This is definitely a good time for shotgun buyers. Oh, the other one that's really popular I see a lot of locally is the Typhoon AR style, AR platform type semi-automatic shotguns that you can get. I can't remember, it's Typhoon something or another, but they're about $1,100. So you're going to drop some pretty good change on them. So you might be better off just going with a semi-auto platform and just putting the parts on it and making it into what you want to make it into,
The bad thing about those magazines are stupid crazy. And same with this with the AK style is some mags will fit in some guns and not the others. So
it's not mil spec, and hopefully that inexpensive Turkish semi-auto AK platform shotgun you bought, you hope you can get extra mags for, because many times they just don't import them. Like that package comes into the States and that's it, and good luck finding magazines for it. That's true with a lot. Some of them are proprietary, so you got to watch out for that. But
that's one thing. That's one good thing about having a tube fed. You don't have to worry about magazines. But the bad thing about tube fed is, if it's home defense, you're really not going to reload anyway. So, yeah.
Well, you might. Depending on if you got a horde coming in your door. It's depending on where you are.
Horde coming in my door, I would not be going to a shotgun.
No, I agree totally. But again, one of the things about the shotguns right now is, from what I'm seeing, and hopefully everybody else is seeing, they are readily available at the store. You can get a very simple, an 870 or a Mossberg 500, and then you can do with it what you want. Parts are readily available. Buckshot is expensive and a little hard to find right now, but if you look around, you can usually find somebody that has some, at least get enough for your shotgun to get you set up for a home defense situation.
But they're also easier to reload, and you can Can you find 209 primers?
I don't know. I bought 1,000 of them last summer, and I bought everything I needed to reload one season worth of trap shooting, which I didn't get to do. But I'm sitting on everything. I don't see any primers in stock right now for centerfire, any kind of rifle or shotgun locally. But AY, go ahead.
They have some 209 Winchester 209 primers in the local Palmetto State Armory. They've been sitting there for months on end. Nobody's touched them.
Yeah, that's one thing is 209 primers. So some of your black powder guys like them because of depending on the type of ammo that they shoot. That could be that's their primer system.
And I actually got my shot shell reloader. I got an old mech shot shell shotgun reloader for $60, and it came with the powder weights, the little powder bar for it, and all the containers. And I just cleaned it up a little bit, and it's already mounted on a nice block of wood. And so I'm going to hopefully use that this summer, because I went and bought all the components to reload another 500 rounds. And I'm just going to mess around with that this summer and kind of play around with it a little bit. I think the powder is readily available. I think I bought Sporting Clay's powder. I can't remember what the brand was exactly.
Well,
but, yeah.
Most shotgun powder could also be pistol powder. So it's
rare.
It's going to be gone. There's some out there that's too fast for pistol. But usually, if you get a shotgun, you can make it work in pistol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, and last but not least, the introductions. Defense Dad, are you waking up now? You got your cup of coffee? You got your breakfast all taken care of? Are you good to go?
Yeah, I've had a little bit of caffeine, so I'm good to go.
There you go. You sound a little more awake than when you first checked in. So, Defense Dad, how are we going to get out to the range? Are we going to bundle up and go and do some filming or what? I'm kind of curious to see what my cameras are going to do in this kind of temperature, my new ones, but I don't know.
I was kind of thinking about that, because what better time to get out there and see if your gun's going to run in the cold?
And who else is going to be out there shooting when it's 4 below zero? Really, let's be honest. Just make sure you've got a blanket and a plan in case the car doesn't start. But other than that, it's just brutal out here in Nebraska right now, just like it is in many other places. I'm used to it at this point, but after about 15 or 20 minutes out in this stuff, it's just not fun. But I do have an AR I want to take out and do some shooting. I might just have to bite the bullet and go, or wait a week, because we're going to be above freezing finally in about a week from Monday. And so we can get some more. So like I said, for me, the content's going to slow down a little bit aside from Caliber Corner, because I can't get to the range right now. But Defense Side, I know you've always got a lot of cool videos lined up. Defense Side, give us a little tease here. What's coming up on the channel? What can we expect to see?
Oh, I mean, kind of like you. I haven't been able to get to the range here lately, but I've got a lot of product stuff that I was just reorganizing all my gun stuff last night, and I realized how many videos I need to shoot because I got some unboxings to do. But it'll be a little bit of that until it gets a little bit warmer.
Yeah. And again, a lot of us have pretty extensive video catalogs. Go click on our channels, click on our playlist, look at all the different categories that we have set up. We got a lot of great content. So if we're not putting out new stuff, a lot of what we put out is within the last couple of years is still relevant. A lot of product reviews and a lot of different items that are out there. So you got a lot of options right now, which is always a good thing. Reminder, guys, today's episode is brought to us by SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. SS Pawn is located right off the exit for Interstate 80, off Interstate 80 into Lexington. It's just on the right over there. Stop in there, say hello to Stan, check out the firearm selection. If you're a Nebraska resident, obviously you can go in there and pick something up for yourself, or you can order and do a transfer through Stan. And SS Pawn will take care of your firearms needs. Joining us on the YouTube side, we got Scott79, we got New York Outcast, Gizzard Gary, Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy. Kingpin's out there promoting all of our channels right now. Thank you so much, Kingpin. I appreciate it. Tommy Guns in the house. Sketchy Roll. Billy the cab driver checking in. Zinger's out there too this morning. M. Gabriel always with us. Justin Grimm. And let's see. Defense Dad's out there over here. Foose is out there and over here. Says, I love you, buddy. Foose, I love you too. Oh, there you are. And then we got Mike over there. Defense Dad. Sam of Anarchy 92. William Maney or Manny's out there. Watt 75's in the house. And I think that's just about everyone. So let's go and get this discussion started. All right. So if you don't have a shotgun or you have a shotgun, there's a lot of things I want to talk about. So let's just start off for somebody who's looking for one, because shotguns are readily available. They're still fairly inexpensive. You can just go pick one up. Parts are readily available. Kits are readily available. Furniture is readily available. And when we talk about furniture, we're talking about the forends, the stocks, the pistol grips. We're not talking about, Chase lounge chairs and stuff like that. But hey, by the way, if your significant other is ever bothering you, just tell that person I'm doing some furniture shopping. And you might be looking at furniture for the shotgun and the AR. They'll think you're going to be looking for couches, and they'll leave you alone. All right, so when you're looking for a shotgun,
they'll be like, you got to make sure it matches the rest of the stuff.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, honey. Do you want green or tan? Yeah, that's right. That's my kind of furniture shopping. Pattern. Yeah, what's that?
Or a pattern.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I did find a really cool website. Now, I'm not endorsed by these guys. I don't know if they're any good. It's one of the first ones that pops up on Google, so maybe some of you can chime in on the YouTube side, or somebody that's on the panel here. CombatHunting.com has one of the best selections that I've seen for complete furniture sets for your shotgun. So if you want to tactical up your shotgun or make it a little more mobile or make it a little more usable for the home, check out what I say it was called again, combathunting.com, and then you can just do a search for whatever firearm you own, and they sell complete furniture sets for ARs, AKs, shotguns. We'll browse their selection. And again, I'm not associated with them. I'm not doing any kind of affiliate links or anything like that. It was just one of the first ones to pop up that has some of the best prices. That's not, say, cheaper than Dirt, and it's not Midway, it's not Brownells, which those places are great. Okay, not so much cheaper than Dirt, but a lot of those places are sold out of everything. And so this is one of the few websites that I found that has a pretty good selection. All right. So a person wants to set up their shotgun for home defense. Obviously, what is your home could vary from a ranch. You could be a trailer home, a modular home, an apartment, a house. How you set it up is going to be kind of tailored to your needs, right? The first thing to consider, guys, 12 gauge or 20 gauge for home defense. What do you guys think?
Depends on your size and recoil sensitivity.
Yeah, depends on the person.
Yeah, because my wife, she can shoot a 20 gauge with no issues. She's got her own over-under. She can shoot trap with it. She can handle a 20. A 12 kicks a little more. It's a little more uncomfortable. If she had to use it, she could. Grab this Maverick SP behind me. So, I mean, what would be the advantages of going 20 versus 12? 20, do we have any kind of increase in capacity? Probably not. I don't know. No, it's going to be the same.
A lot of them are tube magazines. So it's not the diameter, it's the length. So you're going to be right about the same on that, unless you do go with, you have these lever action shotguns. You have, if you do the shotguns, you can do these Taurus Judges or whatever as well in 20 gauge. So there is a little bit more options with 20 gauge than 12, just because of the size of the round, diameter wise. But
Now, Kingpin is saying don't forget the 410. I was going to mention the 410, but I don't know if you have a lot of tactical options for the 410. I mean, is there much you can really get out there in terms of like furniture swapping and stuff aside from what comes from right out of the factory with it?
Yes. So everything I just said, I was thinking 410, not 20. So ignore all that.
Okay. I mean, you can get 410 slugs. You can get 410 buck. Right. I mean, you have just as many. Probably you might even have better availability of the 410 specialty rounds than 12 gauge right now. But the actual shotgun itself, I don't know. And they're not necessarily lighter because you've got that thicker barrel with a smaller bore. So any of the 410s I've ever have felt very comparable to a 12 gauge in terms of weight.
Well, if you're setting up for home defense, I mean, you don't necessarily have to buy new furniture. If you're handy, you can modify what's already on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still running the stock synthetic. Yeah.
Now,
I have a Mossberg 930 that I have. I mean, I haven't shot it much, but if I would use that for home defense, I would just, take a box that I'm going to use and run it run a tube through it, run a couple tubes through it, make sure the damn thing works with whatever round I'm going to use. And I would do that at least once a year.
Is your 930 semi-auto?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's another discussion. Should I go semi-auto? Should I go pump? Obviously, semi-auto is going to give you an advantage because of follow-up shots and stability. But price may or may not be more. I don't know. There's a lot of inexpensive Turkish semi-autos out there you can get for $350 that might give, say a Mossberg or Remington a good run for the money. And I'm not encouraging you to buy those. Obviously, shop American, but yeah.
And, there's advantages to both. If you run a pump, you have to make sure you run the entire action. If you have a semi-auto, you have to make sure the ammo cycles your action. If you have one of these lever guns, you got to make sure you run the gun correctly. If it's something manual, get used to it. Run the damn thing.
Right. Practice with it. There's two things, two of them that are available too. Mossberg makes the 500 and 410, and also Henry has come out with the lever action 410 shotgun. So that's two possibilities. Somebody that's smaller in stature is more recoil sensitive towards the larger gauges. Then you got those two options as well.
Does Henry make one of those tactical style 410s with like the rails on and stuff so you can put a flashlight on it and all that stuff or not? Do you guys know?
What's that now?
Oh, does Henry make? I'm looking at their catalog right now. They got the X model series. Yeah, the lever action X model 410 shotgun from Henry does have a pick rail section on the front there, so you could put a flashlight on it if you wanted to, or some sort of an accessory. They got the big boy X model also, but I don't think that's not gonna be it. But yeah, they do have the 410 X model, which does have the synthetic stocks on it. It does have the pick rail on the front. It's got the sling mounts and all that stuff. So that's always an option. I mean, what's your capacity on that? Is that just a 4+1? Oh, six rounds. But here's the deal. Okay, MSRP of $1,000, and nowadays you're probably going to pay $1,000 for something like that. So now we're back to square one. Would you rather just have a nice premium semi-auto? Because you could get a 930 for $1,000, right? Boost or not? You could get one for about that price.
I can't remember what I paid for it.
I was thinking that the 930 JMs were like $750 before all the crazy stuff. I'm sure you could get,
that's what I have. I have a 9+1 JM.
Okay.
20 barrel. If I would have gotten a 22, it would have been 10+1.
Now, Kingpin says you can find dummy shotgun rounds for practice. Yeah, definitely practice cycling it. Definitely practice dry firing. Know the trigger.
Practice doing cycling it. There's always that lever to release the action. Just take and have that and just rack the crap out of it.
Get used to it. Get used to how it's going to run. So, I mean, again, the caliber choice, the 12, the 20, the 410, there's going to be a lot of, and just say, if you go the 12 gauge route, you're going to have a lot more options, in my opinion, for accessorizing, for getting the furniture set that you want. And there may be companies that make, furniture sets for the 410s. I don't know. You'd have to look around a little bit, but for 12 or 20, definitely go with something that you can operate, that your family can operate if it's the only gun that you have. So that's starter, right? Now, what about the barrel length? How important is barrel length? Because I got a 20-inch barrel on my Maverick 88 back here. I feel it's a little cumbersome. I mean, if you train well, you should be able to defend your home with any barrel length, but trying to run the 26-inch goose gun through the house, if you've got a small apartment with lots of 90-degree walls, that might be a challenge versus going with something with an 18-inch barrel, right?
Yes.
So what do you guys think about barreling? I mean, do we have any, stupid question, do we have velocity loss going from a 20 to an 18? Does it matter? No.
Close range? No, it doesn't matter.
There's nothing. There's no buildup of pressure. There's no lack. You're gonna have maybe spread stability, but yeah.
You have to think about this with the velocity. It is such a low power cartridge. Mm-hmm. You could go to Ace Hardware and get conduit and make a shotgun. So the pressures in it is not enough for that length of to matter on velocity.
Yeah. Now, obviously, for length, pressure, when you go shorter than 18 inches, you're running into class 3 firearms, and that's a whole different kind of ball of wax. But
or if it's a AOW or something like that. But that's if you have like a 5-inch barrel, of course you're going to have less. But if you're running like anything over 18, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. Because I feel like the 20. Yeah.
Your pressure is measured differently in shotguns. It's called lead units of pressure, LUP, compared to PSI or copper units of pressure that you have in pistols and rifles.
All right. So it is going to be a little bit. So, and the barrel length, again, the shorter the barrel, I've got a 20. I used to have an H&R partner pump that had an 18. I kind of miss that compact portability of it, but you can also do things like put a collapsible stock on it. You can get different grips. So you don't have that full stock on the rear. You've got a lot of options to definitely shorten that overall length to make it a little more usable. Train with it through the house, or maybe take some courses on defense with shotguns so you can get more comfortable with it. Definitely practice with it. Or, if you can do it, if you got the funds, get into 3-gun. 3-gun competition would be fantastic training for any kind of a home defense scenario because it's going to get you comfortable with that shotgun in any kind of scenario.
Well, no? I would disagree because with what a 3-gun will allow you to do or teach you is how to reload that firearm fast, because that's what it is with shotguns and 3-gun. It's how fast you reload that tube.
I'm just talking about having comfort with your shotgun under a stressful situation, or being able to get on target and hit the target, or accuracy is a little bit important because,
absolutely, but you don't need to do competition for that. Other one, like rifles and pistols, yes, competition is better because of what it does. But with shotguns, because of shotgun competition, if you're going to do that, I would rather have someone go skeet or something like that to where everything's already loaded. Because, unless you are extremely skilled, practice all day, every day. Well, maybe not all day, but really practice on reloading
frequently.
What's already in the gun is what you're going to use. So I would rather have someone go out and do skeet stuff and getting, lead on target more than what 3-gun and just, shoving rounds in your tube will do.
Mm-hmm.
My 2 cents.
Okay. What about your stock setup? What would be ideal? The pistol grip, fixed stock route, collapsible stock, fold over stock, pistol grip standalone, bird's head. What do you guys think? What would be the ideal setup for the home? Because I've just got the standard shotgun stock on this.
If you're going to get a pistol grip, practice with it, because some of those pistol grips you add, they'll kill your wrist when you're shooting.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer just to say, regular stock.
Have you ever fired your shotgun without having it to your shoulder, Travis?
Like just like a hip fire or what?
Hip.
No.
I think I'd prefer a folding stock if I'm going to use it in home defense. Because you've got the option, if you had to, you could use the pistol grip, but you also got that option of having that stock fold out, and you've got full control of that shotgun.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of those kits over on the website I told you guys about. It's not much more expensive to have a fold-over stock option. Sometimes you can buy them. Obviously, you can get them from the factory with that kind of a kit already installed. Oh, yeah. So you have a lot of great options and stuff. I kind of like the collapsible stock idea just because you can really get it kind of custom fit to work for you. And there's a lot of different options that are out there. But Defense Head, what are you running for? What do you have for a self-defense shotgun setup. Why don't you kind of run us through your build? What do you do?
So mine, and I got a video on it, but it's just an H&R partner pump.
Yep.
Ultra cheap shotgun, but ultra reliable.
Is it the shorter barrel model, the 18?
Yep, it's the 18
it is. And I
barrel.
had one for a couple of years. Yeah, and I kind of miss it.
And I didn't do anything fancy with it because I didn't want to spend $300 on accessories for a $150 shotgun. So
yeah,
I took the fore end off, I cut it down, I sanded it. And the reason I did that is that way I could rack it back. I could have a 6-shell carrier on the side. Because otherwise, it's got a long extension on the fore end, and if you rack it back, you can only have room for 4. And then I did put it still got the brass sight, but I put a fiber optic front sight on it. Just it's easier to see. And then I run the factory stock on it. I did put a limb saver on it, but I can take that off if I don't want it. And then just a basic sling, and yeah, that's it.
Now that H&R partner pump, it does have some compatibility with which one, the Remington 870 or the Mossberg 500.
The 870, but be careful if you get one because it's not just bolt on. Like if you're going to try to put an 870 fore end on, you're going to have to ream it out because the tube's wider on the H&R than it is on the actual Remington.
The way the barrel mates too is different, right? The barrel is different. You can't just put
the barrels are not interchangeable. They make conversion kits, and then even the stocks, not all of them are. I mean, they'll bolt on, but not all of them all fit quite right. So you're gonna have to do some fitting.
Okay,
that's why I just left mine stock, and it runs really well. Oh, and I have a light on it.
Okay, how'd you mount the light on there? Just like a barrel band, or did you have like one that goes between the barrel and the magazine tube, or like with the thick wheels on both sides, or what?
I found a universal mount that goes to the tube. It's from iProtec. It's a pressure fit, and then I just have a bright LED flashlight on it, and it works great. I've had it out in the chute, and it doesn't flop around, it doesn't fall off, and the mount's like $15.
Yeah, I need to. That's the one thing. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have today's episode is because I'm just sitting with a plain Jane, basically box stock, Maverick 88. I've got a side saddle carrier for extra rounds, and that's it. I mean, I don't have a sling on it. I don't have any kind of, no accessories on it because the lighting is going to be the big issue with the shotgun. Is what do you do? Because it's going to be hard for you to hold the flashlight and try to work that fore end, while defending your home and try to illuminate at the same time if you don't have something that's fixed and already mounted on the shotgun.
Well, and my light's got a pressure switch that mounts right to the fore end, so it's easy to operate.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. That's something to consider is getting yourself the tactical style that's got the pressure switch on it, so you got complete control, over the light if you need it. Was it the Faiachi flashlight? Is that the one that you got that you're running?
No, it was even cheaper. That was like $17. It's 1,000 lumens. Came with a really crappy mount. If you do watch the video, I replace that mount. But
okay, yeah.
So, quick question.
Sure.
What's the least amount of rounds in a shotgun that you would use for home defense? Like, would you do a double barrel like what's behind Travis? Would you?
Oh no, that's not a double barrel.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
That's a Maverick SP with the 7+1.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I've got double barrels, but yeah.
Would you use a double barrel? Would you use a single action? A break action? What is the least amount you're willing to have?
Let's run it around. I did 7+1 because to me it's like the most compact but highest capacity setup I would want to run with what I have. So it's 7+1, 8. Obviously, I would have a sidearm on me if I had time to grab my pistol. But when you see a lot of them, it says 4+1 or the magazine, like the detachable magazine that holds 3. It's like, well, what are you getting? I would say as much as possible. So 7+1 for me with my setup feels pretty comfortable. Defense Stat, what do you think? Have you replaced your magazine tube yet?
No, I didn't have to actually. Mine runs 6+1 because with that H&R, if you take the tube out and the plug, it holds 6, and I haven't had any issues cycling. For home defense, I'd minimum 5+1 is the minimum I would want.
Basically, with the comparable to a revolver, right? You're almost thinking you want at least 6 rounds. I don't even know why. I'm just thinking you'd want a couple in case there'd be 2 to 3 assailants, and you've got 2 shots per assailant, essentially, maybe 1 to miss and 1 to hit. I don't know. So that's kind of my mentality behind it. But
well, and with mine being stock, you can practice reloading, but it's not the fastest thing to reload. So I want more than 2 for sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was getting to. whatever you have, like what's in the gun is all you'll have because you're not going to reload the damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're in a shootout and you're tucked down in your corner and you're trying to shoot out of your room or something, I mean, you're not going to have,
Well, then you have your ammo in your room.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, like a lot of it's, I'll have a gun in my room, but my ammo's downstairs in a safe or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that ammo, you might as well not even have it.
Or have a side saddle carrier that might carry 5 rounds, as an option, or 6, but that'd be pushing it, probably 5. But
you're still not gonna sit there and reload it in the heat.
So maybe the double barrel's not the option. Even though it's the cool tactical style double barrel, it might not be the most applicable to what you're going to have to do. Even though the odds say it's 1 point something shots in a home defense situation or self-defense situation, you can't guarantee it isn't going to be multiple assailants that you're going to have to defend yourself from. Especially these days, it seems like home invasions are groups of 2 or 3, or it's a crew, or it's a gang, or it's a mob. I mean, I think you need to overplan. I'm sorry. And it's not being paranoid. It's being practical about what we see happen to people these days,
But also a shotgun, this is my opinion. My opinion alone, a shotgun is not viable for home defense.
No, I agree. I think there are other options that you should have personally. I mean, there's some ideal setups we'd love to have, but unfortunately, the reality is for a lot of people, that's just what they buy. They're inexpensive. They're popular because people might want it for hunting and also home defense and just as an all-around utility firearm. I mean, that's just kind of what it is. So think about setting it up. Yeah.
Let's say you brought something up, hunting. Let's say you're a turkey hunter and you have a gun that'll hold 3.5 or 3 or 3.5 inch shells. I wouldn't use 3 or 3.5 inch shells for home defense. The recoil is going to be stupid. Concussion is going to be stupid. Just 2 3/4, 2.5 inch is fine.
Buckshot. You think buckshot or not?
Buckshot would be preferable, but don't go like number 8, or whatever. I'd say, was it 4 or 2 that's starting to get bigger pellets? I wouldn't go 7 or 8. I'd do a smaller number on it, just because with rounds, it's how much mass is in each projectile. So if you get fewer projectiles, mass is going to be greater. They're going to have more energy coming out per projectile to penetrate.
So maybe the 20 gauge is a more viable option just because of recoil control, follow-up shots, not anything that, and there's still plenty of availability. Anything you can get in 12, you can basically get in 20 in terms of your shot and your ammo type and so on. So,
but we also started talking about, this line of thinking is if you already are a hunter, well, usually people shoot birds with that, and a lot of them will shoot a 3.5 inch. I don't know about
goose round essentially, right? Yeah.
My mind's turkey hunting. You have a turkey bird, and a lot of them you do use a 3 inch.
Yeah, I've got a 3.5 inch Magnum round that I use for turkey hunting that I run through my 835. Yeah, but not everybody's got a gun set up for 3.5 inch shells.
Right,
they're usually 3, but
that's to get distance, correct? Yeah, so like you don't need to use that in a home defense. I know that's my opinion, but that recoil, that's like saying, oh, I want to, go squirrel hunting with, I don't know, 454.
But we're talking about stopping a person, and so don't you want the maximum amount of shock you can cause to that individual to best increase your odds of dropping them on the first shot before they can do anything?
Yes, but like you said, very few times is it just one person.
True.
Well, and I would rather have a quicker follow-up shot, especially coming out of a shotgun. follow-up shot than, being able to put a 8-inch hole in someone coming in the door.
Here's the thing, I think too. Like we're talking self-defense range. Like usually it's going to be 20 feet or under. Yeah. I know there's a difference, but when you're talking 12 or 20 gauge at that distance, make your choice based on who's going to be able to operate the gun in your house.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And let's say, you're with a smaller statured person or child or something like that. Maybe you do run that 20 gauge because that could be operated by anyone in the house. Mm-hmm. It may not be maybe Travis and I could run 12 gauge all the time. But if we have a child or someone else in the house that can't, they are without something if one of us aren't there.
How is the recoil on a semi-automatic 20 gauge? I've never actually fired one. Is it way easier on the shoulder than a pump because the gas system is absorbing that shock to run the inertia of the action, or not? Do you guys know? Do you have any experience with the 20 gauge semi-auto?
Yeah. So when my stepson, when he was young, we all used to go out for shoot blue rock at Thanksgiving. And
hold on. For people outside of Nebraska, that's clay pigeons.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Nobody knows what blue rock is unless you're like a Midwesterner. But yeah, no, that's okay. Go on. Yeah.
So he was shooting his everybody got there. Shot everybody's shotguns, and when he was 10, he would shoot the 20 gauge, and he could handle it just fine. When he turned 10, he thought he was probably big enough to do a 12 gauge. And his uncle had to catch him on the first shot because he almost fell backwards. So, I mean, there's a difference. And he was a pretty big kid at 10. So, yeah, there's a difference.
Well, it depends the type of round you're running. Did he give him a 3.5-inch Magnum round to shoot, or a 2 3/4, or just standard 12?
It was just target loads. And his uncle was literally behind him and caught him because he almost fell over backwards.
Yeah. So again, maybe the semi-auto 20 is the way to go. Real quick, just want to catch up on some of the YouTube comments here. We've got New York Outcast says even birdshot isn't safe in the home, so know your place and angles. Yeah, I agree totally. You guys check out Sarge C4 Defense's video. He shot through, and he went to a trailer. There's a trailer house on his property. He just did some shots, and it went through multiple layers of drywall and paneling, and the birdshot went through. It's not like it just stops. I mean, it left a pretty good, like, tennis ball size hole through multiple layers of home materials. And so do you know what's on the other side of your target always, especially if you live in an apartment complex, if you have a small home, you've got children in the home, there's bedrooms in that direction, and you got to shoot in that direction. You really, really need to think. And that's why I'd almost say maybe do some training or take a course if you can. If anybody offers one on home defense with a shotgun or any kind of training, just so you're comfortable with it. So you think. Now, you might not be thinking in an adrenaline pumping situation, but that's just something to consider. Let's see here. New York Outcast says, I've got a video on what shotgun rounds do to walls. Might want to check it out before you think you're safe. Exactly. Yeah. So check out New York Outcast channel. Definitely. They're talking about some of the different loads to shoot. Number 8, double-aught buck, triple-aught buck. Any thoughts on mag-fed shotties? The magazine, I don't know. What do you guys think? The magazine fed versus the tube fed? Let's just throw the magazine availability and cost off to the side and just say you're going to buy a bunch of magazines for a magazine fed semi-auto shotgun, whether it's a Vepr style or like an AR style or a bullpup. What do you guys think of that, going the magazine route for home defense? Because maybe that's the better way to go.
Well, think about this. Mm-hmm. With militaries, availability of something that is stackable versus tube fed.
Yeah.
What the bolt action versus the lever gun, which one? I know it. In shotguns it's slightly different, but which one won out? It's gonna be your magazine fed. It's gonna be
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get a magazine fed gun that is as reliable and everything, do it. Absolutely. Because then a reload is possible.
And with a magazine, also the capacity is the big thing. Don't get something that's got a 3-shot capacity. Get something that at least got maybe a 10 or an 8, 15, at least 5. I mean, yeah, whatever. And also, if you're going to get one of those shotguns, look at magazine availability. See what's out there. Do they have a drum style you can get? Do they have extended magazines for it? Can you get magazines for it? But you might be seeing this neat looking semi-auto in the store for $350. You're like, ooh, I'm going to get that. And then you find out you get 2 3-shot magazines with it, and you can't buy any more mags for it. Because they're proprietary, like we mentioned before. So I would say the overall capacity is going to be the big deciding factor. Are you going to gain much going with the 7+1, going with an 8 magazine fed? And Foos, like you said, you probably won't be reloading in a simple home defense situation anyway. So do you really gain anything by spending the money on it? I would rather get more ammo in practice or get some ammo and some skeet shooting in or something, you know?
I must put this out there.
If you have an AK style with the drum magazine that has 20 or 25 rounds in it. I don't know about you, but I've never said, "Oh, I wish I didn't have this much ammo."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You can never have enough for your home defense. Yeah.
I would like to put this out there.
Yeah. All right, do it.
Yeah, with magazine-fed semi-automatic shotguns, I would be very, very cautious of your local state laws. Because when I lived in New Jersey, if you had a semi-auto shotgun with a capacity of more than 6, it's considered an assault weapon, and that will land you in prison.
Well, will they even sell that in the state then at all? I mean, is there a chance? I mean, I guess you could. I mean, who's gonna sell it to you if it's not?
Well, here's the thing: is you're allowed to buy the Sega 12 gauge, and they sold them all the time, and they had the 5-round detachable magazines, and under New Jersey state law, you are legally allowed to own the 10-rounder magazines, but as soon as you put it into the gun, you're now a criminal.
Yeah.
Better if you move into a state, and let's say you're in Missouri or Nebraska, and you have one of these, and then you have to move into a Illinois or some of these less friendly firearm states.
Well, and think about this too. Like we're talking for home defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a very good chance you grab that shotgun for home defense. You're going to be in your pajamas. Are you going to have a pocket or a way to carry those extra magazines in the first place, or are you going to use it as a way to get to your other guns?
Unless you have
like a magazine clip, like a staggered magazine, like a attachable spare mag you can flip around. Might be
but realistically, 3 o'clock in the morning, someone breaks in my house, I'm protected or something. I'm in my boxers and a t-shirt. I mean, I'm not going to have time to get dressed and grab something to carry the mags.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
another variation that you've got as far as a mag shotgun is concerned is the Mossberg 500M. That's
yeah,
a
they did come out.
magazine-fed pump.
That would probably be the way that I would go, just in terms. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the I keep calling them the Vepers, but like the AK pattern semi-auto shotguns seem to be pretty good. But again, you want to make sure it's going to run the ammo that you can get or that you have, because it might be finicky to high brass or whatever we call it, or different calibers of or whatnot. You're going to want to make sure that the thing is going to run. But I would definitely look at the Mossberg. I'm a big Mossberg fan. I've always had good luck with their shotguns, so that's usually what I tend to purchase. But
yeah, and for like defensive ammo for your handgun or whatever, you're not going to run ball cheap stuff or else I shouldn't say you're not going to, but majority of people aren't going to run that. They're going to have something that may be a buck around or something like that is a good hollow point. So you're going to be running a good buckshot that or higher brass, higher pressure round. So hopefully your semi-auto will run.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to think of too is I always think of is you always see all these videos and everybody always arguing what's better, the Mossberg or the
Remington 870 or yeah.
So part of that is going to determine how you feel about safeties and if you're going to put a pistol grip on, because with the Mossberg, you got that safety on top of the receiver, right?
Unless you get the Mavericks, they have the crossbolt style,
right?
So that's I never thought about that.
As soon as you put the pistol grip on, you without taking your hand off, you can't get to the safety.
I never thought about that. Man, that's a good point.
And if you're right or left-handed, if you're left-handed and you mount it this way and you go to push that, you're going to have to angle and get your thumb across it to actuate that safety, especially if you still have a stock on it where your thumb's way up here. You're not going to be able to reach around and get that safety. You're going to have to come under the gun and push it.
But there are left-handed shotguns, though, which is a good thing. There are some, not a lot of options, but there are some out there if you look, which is a good thing, but you might not be able to get the kind of setup you want right out of the box. Like you're probably not going to get a left-handed Mossberg shockwave. They're just not in production. So,
well, I'm left-handed with the crossbolt safety. I don't have any problems operating it, to be honest with you.
But you probably practiced with it. You've thought about, okay, how's this going to work? And hopefully the average person would do that. But but being a lefty, you probably have to do that with a lot of things too, because it's just not everything's just not set for you. So I can understand that.
But he also brought up a point. He practiced with it. He has no issues with it. No matter what gun you have, practice. Make sure you could run it. Like right now, I'm sitting here in my office. And the closest gun I have is a revolver right next to me. Whenever I'm up in my bedroom, I have one in the nightstand. I got two in the closet. Whenever I'm around, I know where stuff is. I may not, if I'm out in the living room, I'll have one close to me. But like a shotgun is not it's not the best one to use. I know it's a tool and it can be used for it, but there's better hammers than the screwdriver.
Yeah. New York Outcast says the Mossberg has 2 extractors as a failsafe. You can use a pistol grip with no issues. Mine came with one. Okay. Kevin Jung says, any thoughts on the Kel-Tec 3-barrel? I think it holds 15 rounds. The KSG, is that what that is?
Yeah, KSG. There's some other ones. What was it, IWI or something like that has 2 tubes in it? I thought about that earlier. That would be really cool. Something else, if you are looking for something higher, is the Aguila mini shells.
Okay.
Because it still has the same amount of projectiles. It's just the wadding and stuff is less. It's pretty much the same.
There's some adapters you can buy for a few of those shotguns that'll help ensure the reliability of it. So if you want to go with the Aguila mini shells, you definitely want to make sure you get that extra part you need to ensure that they're not going to fall out when you go to pump it. Yeah.
And then also you increase your round count in your tube.
That's another thought too. I never thought about that in terms of ammo, what you can do to basically double your ammo capacity, more or less. On those Kel-Tecs, I've just read that the recoil is pretty stout on them. I've never fired one before, but they've been out for a long time. People seem to like them. I don't hear a lot of complaints about them. And as a Kel-Tec product, I think they're fairly well built.
Just don't have a vertical foregrip on your Picatinny rail.
Okay. Yeah, what are the laws with that? With a standard 18-inch barrel, you can on an 18-inch barrel, right?
No. That's not the legality isn't there. I've seen people like actuate that.
Don't they come with it from the factory though?
And break that break the forend, break the Picatinny off of it.
See, I thought they came with it from the factory.
It comes with Picatinny, yes.
Oh, I thought it had a vertical foregrip from the factory on it.
No.
Oh, I thought they made one that did. So I thought I've just seen so many people put those on there, but okay.
Yeah. And what it is, it's instead of having your entire hand there to have all that force going through your hand to your foregrip, you have that very small Picatinny rail, and you could having your fist like this versus like this, you get more force.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
And then ultimately, all that force is going through one or two of the pick rails versus through the entire thing with your hand, and less force. Like I've seen not only videos, but I've actually seen guys running it, and he went out and he broke it and he pulled the trigger. Luckily his hand was far enough down.
Okay.
Catch his hand, but I've seen it could be an issue.
Yeah, I think so.
But vertical on pumps aren't good.
M. Gabriel has a resolution for us for carrying that extra ammo when we're in our PJs. He just says, just take your shell card Velcro and just put it on your chest hair. It'll just lock right on, and then you've got it right there hanging off the hamburger meat ready to go. So
I mean, I don't know about you, but if someone attacks me in the middle of the night, I mean, they're going to see a naked fat man running at them. That right there is enough defense at themselves.
You too? No, I'm just kidding.
So,
welcome to suburbia of the dad bod. All right, yeah.
So,
man, yeah.
I mean, just like, no one wants to fight a crazy person, right? So,
yeah. Oh, I agree totally. I'm just looking at some of the comments you guys are putting out there. Somebody says that the recoil is pretty bad on the KSG. Again, I haven't fired one, so I don't know. New York Outcast says the loading gate on the Remington was the deal breaker for me. I hate getting my finger jammed in it, LOL. Now Defense Dad, let's talk about this one. The Shockwave, the Mossberg Shockwave. All right, so yes or no, is that one to consider? You say you don't like. I mean, I heard the 20 gauge. I wish that Rich White was here this morning because he's got a really well built up Mossberg Shockwave and he loves it. But he got it in 20 so the whole family could operate it.
You ever fired one?
No, I've never fired one before. No, is it awful?
They're fun, but I tell you what, not for a first time gun owner. Just like what Fusa's talking, like if you ever hip fired a shotgun. You don't have much more control over those because there's no stock to brace it up against your shoulder. So I don't have a problem with people having them. I'd like to have one myself.
A stupid question. You've got that Velcro strap on the fore end there. Do people hold them out and shoot them, or are they hip firing them, or what's the proper way to shoot the Shockwave? I mean, I know it's kind of a big deal when it first came out. I really haven't watched any videos on it, to be honest with you. Is there a better way to you could easily control it with both hands out in front of you, right? Because you got that little Velcro strap.
You can do it both ways, but it's just you don't have near as much control over it as something with an actual stock on that you can shoulder.
Just the only real advantage is just the maneuverability of it, mobility of it, depending on the situation that you're running it in.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a problem having one. I think they're pretty cool.
I think myself, I'd take that.
It's not for an inexperienced person.
I think I would take that pistol grip that they've got on that.
The bird handle?
Shockwave and change it to a regular pistol grip.
Now, I don't know
if you can legally with that because that's in its own category, so it doesn't count as any other weapon or a short or if you modify it. I don't know I don't know if you can or can't, but I don't know.
So think about this: with the Shockwave, you're looking at what 4 rounds in that tube. You start going. I'm not going to be reloading this. So if you want to go Shockwave, you have maybe less rounds than a revolver.
But what I was getting at is just like I've seen, especially not to sound sexist, but I've seen women in gun stores like, oh yeah, I want to get that shotgun because it's smaller. It should be easy to handle. I'm like, no, lady, no,
size matters. So real quick, I just want to say something. I just looked this up. Can I put a pistol brace on a Shockwave? And we're not lawyers here. This is what it says. There's the GG&G Mossberg Shockwave brace kit. It says it only adds an additional 4.25 inches to the length of the Shockwave shotgun when collapsed. ATF has determined that the pistol stabilizing brace, if used as designed, is legal to purchase, legal to own, and legal to install, and legal to use. Because I thought Rich had that set up on his Shockwave, but I don't want to say anything without him being here. But you can put an SBA3 with a buffer tube on the back of the Shockwave. I'm looking at it right now.
So that tells me if used as designed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you can't put it on there and have it in your car and not get stopped and get arrested for having, modifying a whatever. No, I mean, we'll just say you're going to use it however you choose to use it. But it's interesting because I didn't even know if you could put a brace on those things or a stability fin at all,
So one benefit of a shotgun, you could get your tube with a spike on the end of it. So you have a bayonet.
Oh, you can put anything on the shotgun, right?
Yeah.
Have a bayonet on there. So here's one. Okay, so let's go back to the flashlights here. What is the best setup for putting the flashlight on your shotgun? Should you get a forend that's got the flashlight built into it? Or do you get the barrel band? Do you get the style that goes between the barrel and the magazine tube with the two little pick rails on both sides?
No, I would say have your house illuminated at night.
Okay, because I'm trying to think, like, if you got to grab this thing and you've got to defend your home, there's no way you're going to be able to have a second. Like, you could have the flashlight in your hand and try to hold it with the forend at the same time, but
have your house illuminated at night. That means have a light on in your house, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about, and if your house is illuminated, it's going to be, intruders are going to be, less keen to do that because people can see that, hey, it's 2:00 in the morning and something's happening, or that they're going to go to a dark house rather than a light house.
Hey,
No, I agree
night
totally.
lights, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get LED lights that don't consume hardly any electricity, and you could leave that lamp on in the living room. So that way, if something happens, if your alarm goes off, you open your bedroom door, your living room's already lit. That's what I did when I was on my own. When my wife had moved, I had a timer set for my lights. And I can tell you this because I'm not there anymore. I had a timer set that would stay on until 1 or 2 in the morning, and it was off until 6. So it was only off for 4 hours until I would get up. But I could have just left that light on 24/7 in my lamp because it only used 5 watts of electricity. It was an LED bulb. Yeah, and it lit up the entire living room adequately enough I could use it if I had to.
And it may cost you, what, $5 a year to run?
Yeah, maybe. Justin Grimm says, please see my question I posted above. Justin, I don't see the question. What is the question? I don't. Justin Grimm? I mean, he's been with us the whole episode. I just don't know where the question is that he was asking. Justin, if you could repost that question, we'll be happy to answer it. I'm not sure exactly. I don't think anybody would have deleted it. So do that again, Justin, and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay. Now, somebody says that those flashlight 4Ns are expensive. Yeah, AOC won't like you wasting energy, but I bought the LED lights because they have Green New Deal approved on the package, right?
I mean, that's another reason is the cost. You could move that light wherever you want it. You could have it. Let's say you do have a spotlight. You could spotlight it towards your front door.
I would say if you've got any property that you need to defend, I mean, obviously the go-to would be the AR with a light on it or an AK with a light on it. But like if you got property to defend, I'm thinking of a farmer or rancher or somebody that has some land, the cabin, you want to shine something out in the front yard. If you got any kind of an area that's not lit outside of your home and you need to illuminate, then consider getting the flashlight. If you can't light up what's outside or the floodlights don't reach that far, just saying a car pulls up in front of your house and it's like, okay, I'm out in the country. Why is there a car pulling up in front of my house? You might want to consider it at that point, but just for standard home defense, yeah.
I mean, in that case, like someone pulls up in the front of your house late at night, that's when you have motion sensitive stuff.
True. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's ways to get around it and illuminate that is not needed. Just like your timer, at night, you could have had a timer set on a motion sensitive, so it'll be dark until something moves in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden that'll come on. And especially if you could see it from your room and that comes on, that could be a early warning for you because your body's like, it should be dark. All of a sudden you notice there's light, because even when you're asleep, you do notice something. You do notice stuff. So all of a sudden, oh crap, it should be dark here and there's light. What the heck? And that could give you an extra 10 or 15 seconds maybe, or an extra 5 seconds to get up, get woke up, get to your firearm, whatever, to defend yourself.
Let's see. Smeggy's out there, by the way. Smegster's out there. Smeggy42. He says he has motion sensor LED rope light in the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, there's motion sensors, and a lot of your home alarm sets have the motion sensor that's either going to set the alarm off, or you could set it to have the light come on and so on.
So spend $400 on a shotgun, then where's your priority?
I don't understand the question. In terms of electricity use, is that what we're talking about? Leaving the light on, or what? Like you're going to blow $400
you spend $400 on a shotgun, then where is your priority?
I'm totally happy with the Maverick for $200, and then I can spend $200 on ammo, accessories, and whatnot. Because I don't know, $400 would probably buy you a decent, yourself a decent semi-auto, but it might not be like a Mossberg or Remington. Hey guys, joining us right now, we've got Alaskan Ballistics with us today. Alaskan, what's going on, man? Oh, he just took off. All right, he'll be back here in a minute. Always good to have him join in with us too.
Another one is H&R New England Arms, which made lots of shotguns, was bought by the Marlin 2000, which just sold to Ruger. Any word on if Ruger will revamp those line of guns? No clue.
So H&R was the H&R partner guns that Defense Dad and I were talking about earlier. Those were made in China by Hawk Industries. So I don't know if they're going to keep making the H&R brand. What I've been told is that Ruger is they're going to manufacture the Marlin Well, I know like the 336s, they're going to continue making them, but they're going to be Ruger branded. They're not going to absorb it and call it the Ruger 336. From what I've been told, they're going to keep the Marlin name, but they're going to move it to their manufacturing facilities, and they're going to be the producer of the same gun that we already have, right, made by Marlin and so on. So that's what I know about that. So that's probably what's going to happen. What's that?
So basically, they're buying the name and the manufacturing capability,
the patents, and, yeah,
and then and then moving everything in house, So probably definitely shut down a plant somewhere.
Hey, Defense Dad just sent me a pic of his shotgun. Make sure you guys check out his channel and watch his video on that, because if you want some good ideas on how to set it up, that's definitely the way to go. The fiber optic sight looks pretty nice on the front of there. So we have so I want to go back to that question again. Any word on if Ruger's going to revamp the line of guns? Well, Ruger does have over-under shotguns that they make. Isn't it called like the Redhead or Red Tail line or something like that? And they bring them back once in a while. Red Label, yeah. So maybe they want to expand their shotgun arena because they don't have one. And then also the lever guns. Did Ruger rebrand a 22 lever gun? I don't know. I guess I never look in that area of their catalog to see what they have to offer. But I think they want to maybe expand their line because they don't have a lot of shotguns and they don't have any or a lot of lever guns in general. So I could see them absorbing it and just producing them with the same model series name, but then just putting their name in front of it. So, all right, Alaskan, you're back. How's it going, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
So please share with us, contribute to the conversation, the home defense shotgun, what works for you or somebody who wants one for home defense. Obviously, for a lot of us, it's going to be an AR that's going to be our go-to, or an AK or an AR pistol. But what do you think? What's a nice setup for a home defense shotgun for just your average person?
Well, I have a Remington 870 that I've had since I was 12. And, my dad bought for me with my lawn mowing money, right? And when I moved up here, I bought an 18-inch barrel for it. So I literally switch it out during duck season and go back to the short barrel when it's time for hunting or time for bear protection usually. But I've kept it with the short barrel in my new house. And with the short barrel, I have a muzzle brake that is a compensator. It's a choke tube that also has a compensator on the end of it, and it's a cylinder bore. And so that allows me to shoot slugs or buckshot and shoot them pretty accurately.
Does the compensator really matter? Does it help? Do you notice a little bit less kick or less rise in the barrel? It does make a difference. I mean, I know they call it a compensator, but is it just cosmetic? Is it functional?
It's functional as far as reducing recoil. I can shoot several different kinds of slugs, and they don't blow the crap out of me like you'd think they would, as far as recoil is concerned. So yeah, it actually does make a difference. Shooting it in a dark hallway in your house at night, I haven't done that, and I don't really plan on it. And so, there is that, like you said, my AR is my go-to because of flashlights and stuff on it. I really ought to get a flashlight on my shotgun, especially for if I'm using it for bear protection or something like that.
Well, I'm thinking you might have a sizable area that you need to, a bit of an acreage or some area that you need to light up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a neighborhood, but it's the neighborhood settled against the mountain. I'm just as worried about a black bear breaking into the house in the summer, because we have no air conditioning up here. We don't need it, right? So in the summer, we open some windows, and some salmon smell gets out. I'm just as worried of a black bear breaking into the house as I am anything else. And I've actually had a friend who shot a black bear at his home. So, but as far as home defense for the average criminal, you can't go wrong with an 18-inch barrel, Remington 870, Mossberg 500. Even the Stogers are good little pump shotguns if you want a little less money.
Yeah, I saw one. I saw like a Stoger A or M3000. I think it was maybe $300. Can't remember if it's a pump or a semi-auto, but it seems. I mean, I've got a Stoger Condor over under 20 gauge, and it runs just fine. I've never had a problem with it. So yeah, I mean, you got a lot of options out there.
Yeah, the Stoger. So the P series is their pump, which makes sense, right? And their M series is their semi-auto. Okay. And so I actually have a P series 12 gauge duck hunting gun, and it's ran great. I used it all year this year. I bought it for my wife because it was lighter, but And then my dad has that same 20 gauge Condor, and it runs fine as well. So they make a pretty good quality shotgun for back before the crunch. I think they were going like you could find $249 on sale, $299, $329 regular price. So
and sometimes it's kind of a big deal for people where the shotgun comes from. Guys, you got to accept the fact that a lot of your shotguns come from Turkey. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. And I know Stoeger imports them from Brazil and from Turkey, but sometimes that's kind of a talking point for some people. But I mean, they are an American company and they've been around for quite a while, and they do employ American, workers. And so to me, it's not as big of a deal, especially when you've got major brands like Marlin and Mossberg contracting out for Turkish-made shotguns and rebranding them as their own. So that's just something that sometimes people kind of get a little bit sensitive about. But to me, it doesn't. I mean, you buy with your conscience, you buy with your wallet, whatever. It doesn't matter,
Yeah. Now, one of the things you have for home defense that's set up in the basement downstairs is I have a Maverick 88, which is just the cheapest shotgun you can have. But
that's what I got behind me.
Yeah, mine I've got
one.
Youth model, simply for when my kid grows up, he's old enough to use it, which she's smiling about right now. But
is it a 20 gauge?
It is a 20 gauge, and one thing I want to plug the 20 gauge right now is I can go to just about any ammo store, Cabela's, Bass Pro, the local shops, and I can get 20 gauge specialty rounds, slugs, maybe buckshots, all that stuff. So
that's a secret. Don't tell anybody, because that's the next thing that's going to sell out. Because people are like, "Oh, I'm going to go get this now," Because people want something, they're buying anything, Man, I'll tell you what. No, that's actually a really good point. And I mean, we did talk about ammo availability, which is why we mentioned the 12 gauge, because for right now, the slugs are hard to find and the buckshot's pretty expensive. But a lot of us have that stuff already, or we have a decent amount of 12 gauge that we can practice with. But the 20 gauge that's going to be that's the key right there. That's going to be the shotgun for 2021 to pick up, because they're still relatively inexpensive. And now the Maverick 88s what are they back to retail $249? Is that pretty much what you're going to pay for a Maverick 88? I don't know. I think I paid $188 for this one, $190 or something like that. So,
nice. I paid $229 for the 20 gauge youth.
Okay. Well, I bought this one a couple of years ago, and I think it was under $200, so I did pretty good on that one.
Yeah, I paid $209 tax and all for mine.
Yeah, they were pretty cheap at Walmart for a long time. They were like $175, $160. Yep. So
my H&R was $148.
Yeah, the H&R partner pumps, man. I never should have got rid of mine, but I did use it to buy another shotgun. So Defense Ed, you had your hand up. What do you want to mention? I'm sorry we couldn't get to you sooner. Yeah.
Oh, that was way earlier. I think I covered it.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, so you got a lot of options. And again, we talked about the whole idea of the flashlight, the mounts, and stuff like that. What I want to do is just kind of take you through some of the different models to kind of show people what the options are. And a lot of us have already bought on to these platforms. I mean, we're not gonna do this for a very long time, but I thought it'd be kind of neat just to show people, some ideas of what's out there. So what I was mentioning earlier was that combathunting.com, which again, I have no experience with them. I've never bought from them. It's just one of the first ones that pops up in the Google search. And for me, they've got everything. So when I looked up, I've actually got a Mossberg 835, but if I wanted to go with, say, a 500 or 590, what's out there? They have 171 different products that you can buy. You can get a nice tactical pistol grip setup with the forend for $80. And then they also have a Marine tactical top folding stock kit that you can get. Then they start to get all tactical and stuff. And they've actually, Mossberg has paired up with ATI to make a shotgun you can buy from Mossberg, but they also sell that particular furniture set separate, which I like because it has a nice polymer shell carrier, collapsible stock, pistol grip, and so on. Can you guys see this okay? Is it coming across on your end?
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah. And so they've got different types and styles, and the prices vary from $80 up to basically $159, $179, depending on what you want. So you can get collapsible stocks, you can get fixed stocks, you can get fold over stocks. And so it's kind of a cool website. I've really never browsed here before. They've got optics mounting options. Here you go. Mossberg 500 bayonet mount. So there you go. You can put an M7 and M9 bayonet lug on there. So you got that route you can go if you want to. Foos, is that what you were looking at earlier?
No, it was a tube end that just had a spike on it.
Oh, well, that's just as good. And, but yeah, just looking at it, I mean, you've got a lot of different options. They've got stuff for the Shockwave. You can upgrade the furniture for the Shockwave if you want to. You can get a different pistol grip. So, yeah, and all I did, I just typed in Mossberg. I think I put Mossberg self-defense or Mossberg tactical furniture or Mossberg furniture kits. And this is what popped up from this place. So you've got, a lot of different options for a bunch of different budgets. Okay, so that's one way you can go, and you can get the heat shields that have the ghost ring sights built into them, which is cool. Tactical sling that you can put your extra ammo on if you want to. And again, this is combathunting.com. And the cool thing is this stuff, well, a lot of the stuff is in stock. Not all of it, but most of it is. So you can get it and not have to wait for it, which is pretty cool. If it's not available, they just don't have the add to cart box right there. Now,
I know earlier you were talking about how you had reloading components for shot shell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't shoot shotgun hardly at all, but I have like a 50 cal ammo can. And I think a couple other 100 round packs of just birdshot. And then I probably have, I don't know, about 50 or 60 slugs with probably 100 rounds of double-aught. What's everyone keeping like for stock on that?
For me, for home defense, I've got double-aught buck. I mean, that's I've got the Olin's, the green shells with the black caps on them, and then I've also got some. God, I don't even know what brand it is. It wasn't Herders. It was a brand that I got at Walmart, but it was also a double-aught buck, just 2 3/4 inch shell. So that's what I have. That's what I'm running right now. Yeah.
So like my double-aught buck is that Remington military grade double-aught.
Ours might be the same. It's the green shell with the black cap on it. Yeah, and that came in like this nondescript cardboard box at Walmart, like a little 5-round. Olin's makes it. So I think Olin's was owned by Remington, right? Or were they owned by? Or are they their own? Are they independent? They just sell to whoever. I'm not sure who owns.
Well, I
mean,
I have
Winchester.
I have Remington brand stuff that looks identical to it.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's what I do. Yeah,
and I was just wondering because like the last time I even shot a 12 gauge or a shotgun was probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay,
I was wondering kind of what people are stocking up in that because I bet you I have 350 rounds of birdshot, and then so I may have total of 12 gauge. I may have 500-600 rounds.
Yeah, I'm probably sitting on that. I've got a couple cases just for trap shooting, for skeet shooting, but I've got many different varieties because I would do the duck hunting and the goose hunting, the turkey hunting. So I've got a couple boxes of everything. The majority of what I have is just birdshot for trap shooting, and then I've got the components to reload. Just regular. I don't even remember what the shot number is. I haven't actually done it yet, but I've got everything sitting around for just I think 2 3/4 inch shells, mostly a skeet load. But yeah,
Lou's Basement has a very good question. Take on red dots on a shotgun.
Ooh. Alaskan, you want to start off with this one?
Yeah, I'm all about the idea. If you have a quality red dot on top of a shotgun, then to me, picking it up at night, especially if your lights are still off or you need a flashlight, it's going to be easy to pick up. I do think you need to spend the money on a quality red dot like an EOTech or an Aimpoint or something that's going to get you the recoil that you have. But then you have to go out and you have to pattern it. It's one of those things where we have to pattern it with a bead anyway, but then you'll have to adjust your pattern to the ammo you're using. So it's going to be one of those things where I can't, with the red dot, I can't reasonably, especially if I'm defending property out to 20, 25, 30 yards, I reasonably can't expect different loads to hit in the same spot with a red dot, just like you wouldn't expect different loads to hit in the same spot with a rifle, So there is that possibility.
So you could also do a mid-tier to good quality pistol optic as well. That will be able to hold up to the recoil.
Should you double check and see if it's rated for shotgun? I mean, will they say if it'll? I mean, should you just do some research on it, see what the company says, or
if it's rated for pistol, it's going to be rated for shotgun because it's going to go through a lot more jarring forces on top of a pistol than it will on top of a.
Yeah, with the slide moving and the lockup, there it will go through more jarring forces. But you want to definitely make sure that it's been done before and that do some research on it for sure.
But I mean, like you said, it's going to be quicker at target acquisition because with the red dot, you don't look at the red dot, you look at whatever your target is, and as soon as that red dot appears where you want to target, you go. Whereas having a bead, you just can't have the bead there because you got to have it down on the rib. You have to do other stuff.
Are you talking laser for red dot or red dot?
No, like a red dot optic.
Holographic sight or whatever, or red dot sight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No,
okay.
Not laser.
Yeah, I mean, I think, let's see, Dominic says Crimson Trace is the way to go. Green and can fire from the hip. Also, it's sleek on the side of the Mossberg.
Again, firing from the hip. That first round would be decent, but you're not going to be able to pull the trigger straight back firing from the hip unless you practice a lot.
Thomas Reese says red dots are okay. Just use the circle dot at 25 yards or less.
And that's the thing. You could get a 2 MOA dot or a 6 MOA dot. I'd use the 6 or an 8 if you could find it.
Okay.
Because you'll be able to pick it up quicker.
Ghost ring sights are always an inexpensive, budget-friendly option, and many times they're built onto the barrel or built onto the receiver.
But then ghost ring sights, you have a front and a rear and a target.
Good point. Okay, Alaskan, what were we going to say?
Well, changing back to what everybody's stocking, I have a lot of heavy bird shot. The Fiocchi nickel-plated number 4s and number 3s and number 5s I got a bunch of those, and they actually make a really decent home defense load, especially if you live in an apartment. If you don't want cheap number 8 bird shot that's not going to do any penetration, but you don't want to over penetrate tons of neighbors' walls as well. So I have a lot of that stocked up from when I lived in apartments. I still have buckshot. I probably have 100, 150 rounds of buckshot. And I probably got, I got dozens of slugs that I want to test actually.
We were talking about that earlier. What size of shot would be your minimum? And, I was around the 3-4 area, but you're saying even 5 is, you would go ahead and do that for maybe not a first resort, but you'd put it in there.
Yeah. I actually picked up the other day. It's lead, not steel. Hornady. It's made for home defense. I think they're 3-inch, but they're BBs. They're copper-plated BB size home defense.
Is that a critical defense round that Hornady makes for shotguns?
Well, I mean,
is it under the critical defense line or not?
I don't know if it's in the critical defense line. I'd have to go look at the box. I think it's in their Hornady Express line.
Okay.
And it seems to be a pretty good round. So
BB size. So that's what a 3, because that's what 0.17 of an inch.
Yeah, it's bigger than a three bird shot. It's definitely it's bigger than that. So
they got a double-aught buckshot. They've got a number 4 buck, a 3 BB, number 5 nickel, number 5 nickel, number 4 nickel, number 6 nickel. But that's showing. It's not showing any kind of home defense at all. They're showing the double-aught buckshot on the critical defense line as being the home defense line. But they've also got, if it's going to take down a deer, okay, I think you're going to be okay for a person. But they're showing coyotes and turkeys on the number 5 nickel and the number 6 nickel. It's the heavy Magnum shotgun ammo. Yeah.
And that's something else. If you're what should I use for home defense? In shotgun, if you wouldn't use it for a deer that's, 150, 200 pounds, yes, their hide's thicker than ours, but if you wouldn't use it for that, probably wouldn't want to use it for home defense.
Yeah.
That's what I always go to. I'm if I don't think this whatever I'm carrying would be able to kill a deer, I most likely don't want to carry it for home defense.
Let's see. Steadley says number 4 buck is the smallest I would go. And I'm not sure what size mine are. I think it's double eye buck is what I have for the red shells you see behind me. And going back just to talk about some of the popular platforms you can run on. This is what I have, the Maverick 88 Security. Now MSRP is $245, which honestly, that's probably what you're going to pay for. It's a 7+1, 20-inch barrel, weighs 6.5 pounds. I find it to be fairly lightweight. Lots of upgrades out there for and aftermarket parts you can get for it. And you can get this in different, capacities and barrel sizes and calibers and things like that. But again, just a cylinder bore, choke on it. So that's what I have, and it's a nice starting platform. It's relatively inexpensive. You've got a good warranty through Mossberg technically, and so that's definitely a good thing. Going over, okay, then just a few more models. I kind of wanted to show you. Then also, if you just go over to Mossberg's line, I mean, yeah, you got the 500 if you just want to go start off with something and then get yourself an 18-inch barrel. There's no lack of barrels out there for these guns too. There's a lot of aftermarket support because a lot of these shotguns have been around for a very long time. They got like the 500 Flex, which I think that comes with 2 different barrels, if I'm not mistaken. Some of them come with a slug barrel too that you can get. Oh yeah, the Flex series has all sorts of different. Yeah, you've got different barrels you can go with. You got different furniture sets you can go with. You can go between tactical. So these are designed to, be kind of an all around. You can make it as a field grade shotgun or leave it for home defense, depending on what you want to do.
You said that it's about 6.5 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, that's what my Maverick 88 is. It's really, it feels light compared to my 835 with like the 20 some inch barrel on it. The thing is super light. Yeah.
So my competition gun with a full mag is almost 4 pounds.
Okay, this is a full size shotgun. So here you go, guys. You got the. They just showed the Shockwave here with the magazine feed on it. Now you can get, the 590M, which is what Single Shot was talking about. There's the 590M Shockwave, 10-round detachable magazine. So it's an option for you. And there's your 590M pump.
Now, something that would be cool, like, could this be tube and magazine fed?
No, there's a block on the tube, unfortunately. But if they could engineer it some way to do that, that would be awesome. Or like maybe the follower unlocks the tube or something when it hits the end of the magazine and allows the shell to come through on the tube.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't because the follower is going to be blocking the tube. That's part of the problem also. But if you could take out the magazine and then it automatically enables you to use the tube, that would be cool. But I think there's some sort of a block on the magazine tube, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I haven't looked at these since they first came out. So
it would be interesting. So you have if you have your follower, come down and then angle, and then be able to go up like that, like on springs.
Mm-hmm.
So as feeding from the magazine will just push that up, and your round would go up, and that'd be interesting, engineering marvel. And then so as soon as it's empty, the flips or whatever would stay down, and it would allow it to be tube fed.
Mm-hmm.
There
may be a possible way to do it. You never know if it'd be kind of neat to have that extra 5 rounds. But then again, it'd be easier just to slap another 10-round mag in too.
Yeah.
I kind of like this. I think this is kind of
I was thinking
that's a good looking shotgun right there.
Go ahead, Foos, and then we'll check this out. Yeah.
The only thing I was thinking of is to be able to have a different round in your tube rather than shock in your magazine. And like you said, we're not going to be reloading this stuff. If it could go from magazine to tube just by itself, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, Travis, what you're showing there, I like for a grip on a shotgun because it gives you choices, but it still gives you stability. It doesn't have to be that exact one, but a stock like that.
Yeah, this is the 870 MCS. And the thing is, I don't know how this works because obviously we got to have an 18-inch barrel. You're looking at class 3 if you go shorter. But this, you can buy this as a package, and I'm assuming it's LEO only or you go class 3. You've got 3 different barrel options, and they go down to a 10-inch, 18, 14, and 10. And so here's essentially the receiver and your forend. And then you've got a straight up pistol grip, okay? You have a revolver grip you can put on it, which, man, that's pretty cool. Or you have the stock and the pistol grip built into one. And then they've got the different magazine tubes and extensions. This is like a law enforcement kit. But yeah, you might be able to buy this with the 18. I don't know if this is set up for civilian sales or not. I'm kind of curious. It doesn't say that it isn't, but then they talk about the the different barrels and the links and what you can run through it. So that's, I was just saying that this is maybe something to strive for in terms of the home defense setup. This is a great kind of design study for what you could do to your shotgun. You've got the magazine extension, you've got the magazine / barrel mounted pick rails, you've got the pick rail up on top, you've got the the fixed stock with the pistol grip. You got more of a tactical combat inspired forend on there that's going to allow you to use force and not slip off the foregrip when you're using it. The forend when you're using it. Is
that a lanyard ring on the back of that receiver?
Up here, right here. Yeah, I think that's so you can do a maybe a single point sling off of it, possibly like some sort of a single point set. Well, you also have one down here on the stock, so you could run your sling like that. If you got to throw it over your shoulder or put it in front of you, or I'm thinking like a close quarters type of setup, possibly. Where you've got the two mount points really close to each other, almost like on an AR where you have it on the back of the receiver and then you also have it on your stock. I'm not sure what this is exactly. It might just be a lock so that the stock doesn't fly off if it ever comes detached. But
that looks like a retainer for a quick release pin, so you can switch.
Okay, yeah, there you go. But this is pretty cool. It's 870p line of shotguns. But yeah, Remington's got a ton of different shotgun options. I mean, they've got. Here's the 870 Breacher series. They've got all these different. Let's just pick one of them for instance. Here's the 870 Breacher pistol grip. Okay, so that's going to be your more, and that would probably be set up for. Is that set up for slugs or not? Because you've got the iron sight on the rear. I'm not sure if that's 6+1.
Rim choke.
Improved cylinder.
Improved cylinder.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's how that works with slugs or not, but anyway, yeah.
That's something I need to look through because I have that Mossberg. Like, I don't know what choke is in it, and I don't want to run a slug through it because what if it has a really tight choke? I don't want to blow the end of the barrel.
Oh, exactly.
No, don't do
that.
Yeah. Trust me, don't do that.
And some of those choke tubes, they might not be marked either. It's like you got to try to decode whatever kind of symbols and markings they put on them to try to figure out what they are exactly, Yeah,
usually those choke tubes are marked anyway.
I'll have to look.
There's your breach. And again, a lot of these are going to be your class 3 and your LEO only, but just kind of showing you what some of the different options are that are out there on the market. Sometimes it's kind of neat to look at the LEO options to see what the pros use essentially, right?
Cylinder bore or modified for slugs?
Cylinder or modified?
Okay.
Yeah, that's something I just didn't know. I mean, I had some stuff, and I know my double barrel, I'm not going to do it because one's in them. Oh, yeah. I mean, that gun, that my double barrel I have was made in like 1914 or something like that.
Okay.
So
here's the 870 Marine Magnum.
Cylinder or modified?
Yeah, improved cylinder, yeah.
No, for slugs.
For what? This one's good. The one that I just showed you, or what? Which one are we talking about?
What's single shot said for for slugs?
Either cylinder bore or modified for slugs. 12 gauge.
So a cylinder.
I had a little single shot 12 gauge Rossi, very first shotgun I ever bought. And a friend of mine wanted to borrow it to hunt with, and I says, "Yeah, no problem, but do not put slugs through my full choke barrel." What does he do? Puts a slug through my full choke barrel. Now just about 2.5 inches back from the muzzle of the shotgun barrel, I've got a nice little bulge. Do you think I let him borrow that shotgun again?
No, probably not.
I was going to say that generally speaking, you don't even want a modified for slugs. You want either an improved cylinder or a cylinder bore for rifled lead slugs.
Right.
Or you want a specific rifled slug barrel to shoot all your fancy sabot and all sorts of other fancy slugs. Yeah. But you don't even really want a modified. You want an improved cylinder.
Yeah.
And especially for just a lead slug, or less.
On my Mossberg,
here you go.
On my Mossberg 500, I've got a screw-in rifled tube that I can put on there, and it works quite well.
Yeah, my 835 came with the rifle. You have to use the Sabo slugs, whatever those are called. That's what you have to run through it. Sabos, yeah. I've got the same thing. It's got the iron sight on the top of the barrel.
Yep.
The front and rear iron sights are right on the barrel itself, and you swap the barrel out, and it's got a rifled barrel with it. Here you go, guys. This will do the job. That works. You gotta like that.
Yeah.
870p, ghost ring tritium front. Yeah, that'll work. So again, I mean, Remington, I don't know, and I don't know about availability. Is Remington still in production or what? Whatever happened to them in the end? Are these still available? Are they still around as a company? Are they still making guns or not?
I think so.
Did they get? No, they got bought out by who bought them out? Was it Field Sports USA or something like that, or what?
Didn't they just make announcements that they're back up and running now, or at least they're supposed to be shortly?
Okay.
The ammunition plant was bought out by one entity, and the rifle and shotgun plants, I can't remember who bought them out. Palmetto State Armory, I thought, bought one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I think they bought one of the ammo plants that you're talking about. Yeah.
No.
This is the Mossberg 500 ATI edition, and this is also I think it's a Lipsy's exclusive, or it's one of the exclusives that you can only get from one distributor, but you'll see them in the stores and stuff. But you can buy this furniture set by itself, but from the factory, it already comes pre-modified. You got the heat shield, the pick rail on the front, the pick rail on the top. I don't know what these cost exactly. I don't see the MSRP on it. I have to go click on a seller. 18.5-inch barrel, 5+1. But you do have a collapsible stock. You get kind of a nice ergonomic pistol grip on it. Side saddle carrier for up to 6 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of cool that Mossberg actually got together with ATI to make a model.
That stock's actually pretty cool too, because I don't know if it comes factory like if it's like that, but if you buy that furniture for your shotgun, it comes with different back straps. Those are rubberized, so they help a little bit with recoil, because with that collapsible stock you lose weight, so it makes the recoil worse. Okay. So I think that's a pretty decent setup. Personally, I like if I'm going to change mine, it's going to be something with the Magpul stock on it though. Okay, yeah, that's always, and I didn't even look at the Magpul catalog because they sell stuff for the 500s and the 870s. Well, I think some of the pictures, I think they were some they had that. The thing I like the Magpul, it shortens the length of pull a little bit, but it's still comfortable.
So single shot, MOD is modified, right?
What's that?
MOD is modified.
Modified, MOD.
So I'm good to run slugs through it.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's iffy at best.
That's what?
Iffy at best.
Oh, I thought you said that was one of them.
No, you really want improved cylinder or cylinder bore.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my mistake. My bad.
You might get away with it, but you'd have to have a really soft lead slug. You wouldn't want something that was hard, Okay. And I wouldn't do it personally.
All right.
Here's your options for Magpul, by the way, guys.
So that has plates. If you see there, you can adjust your length of pull. But overall, with them, it just shortens the length of pull over stock. And for a defensive shotgun, it just pulls in closer to your shoulder. I kind of like that. Yeah, so you've got they're $109 just for the stock, and then the 4Ns. I don't know if they have that, and they must have that. I figured that the shotgun stuff would probably all be under the same thing, but. Do they call them handguards on here? Yeah. Okay, so here's what you guys have for your 20. So it's going to be $139, $140 to get you the M-Lock setup if you want to go the Magpul route. So the Remington 870, Mossberg 590, 590A1, 4-end options in the MOE style. You can get those in 4 different colors. I like how they got you can get the burnt orange, or you can go with the stealth gray, FDE, or black. So. And again, the nice thing about the shotguns, a lot of these accessories are readily available. It's not like maybe a magazine for your gun that you can't find someplace, or some like certain accessories where they're just not out there. I mean, you can get, maybe the shotgun is the way to go if you're just looking for something to buy, but you want to be able to enjoy shooting it. You want to be able to get ammo for it. Maybe consider picking up a 20 gauge this weekend. It's always an option.
Now, question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Is the company called Choate, Choate, still in business?
Oh, they make stocks? The stock company here?
Yeah, they make the furniture maker for firearms.
Okay, so go to riflestock.com. And yeah, it looks like they're up there. Yeah, it says we are Choate Machine and Tool.
Go, right there. That's another alternative.
$62 for Choate. Right.
Yeah, choke tubes are insanely expensive, dude. I don't know why, but yeah. Man, you go to look at Choate's catalog here, shotgun products, 276. So you guys can spend all weekend window shopping if you want to. Folding stocks, shell holders, fixed stocks, magazine extensions. Okay, you can get the tubes. They got tube extensions for the Auto 5. I mean, yeah, you guys can spend all weekend looking at this stuff if you want to. Benelli Novas, Bronchies. Wow. Okay. So they make pretty good stuff then, Single Shot? I guess I don't think I've ever purchased any of their products before.
Yeah, they make good stuff.
It's plus 8 round magazine extension. So how far can you safely run a magazine extension or a tube extension off your shotgun? Because I see some of the 3-gun setups and they're running like a 1-foot extension off their freaking. I mean, you know what?
Jerry Michalak. He's quite the guy anyway. If anybody really wants to see somebody doing some speed shooting, that man is the man to watch. He has a rig. I can't remember if that's off his Benelli or which one it is, but I think that thing holds like 18 rounds.
No, that's his. He's sponsored by Mossberg. That's his Mossberg 930 JM.
The 930 JM. Yeah,
that's him and his daughter Lena run those. But he's in an open division, so he has a tube of shotguns, shells. All he has to do is go and he'll load like 6 or 7 at a time.
I know that's quite the rig to look at when he's out there shooting competition with that thing.
That 930 is. I got a chance to use one in a 3-gun competition that I ran through, and they are awesome. They're very nice. Yeah.
You said improved cylinders will work, right?
Yeah. On which backup? Which one?
On the 930.
I believe so. I mean,
for slugs.
I've used a lot of my Mossberg parts on that Maverick and vice versa. And pretty much interchangeable. Most of them, I should say. I like the Tang safety on top of the 500, though. What was that?
Laskin's little child.
Oh.
Sorry, I was about to speak and then he decided to speak. Sorry about that.
It's all good. So I'm just looking it up. A cylinder choke is recommended for shooting rifled slugs in a smoothbore barrel. Sabo slugs should only be shot through fully rifled slug barrels. It's not safe to shoot slugs through chokes tighter than those listed here.
And we're listed there.
This is under Benelli's website. Oh man, they got a whole Q&A page. I figured it would take me right to it. Let's see here. Just doing a standard full choke with standard lead slugs is safe. Don't matter if they are fixed chokes or interchangeable tubes. You probably won't get good accuracy of the new Sabo slugs or Sopper copper. Really, anything but lead should probably not be used in full choke guns. Well, that didn't answer my question. I don't know. You'd have to look in your manual and see what it says because every gun's going to be a little bit different. Here we go. Can you shoot a slug? Oh man, here we go. We're going into the forums. This is bad. Can you shoot a slug through a barrel with a choke tube or should it be removed? Never shoot anything through a threaded barrel with the choke tube removed. Yeah, we know that. The lead will get into the threads and make the insertion of a tube virtually impossible. No, I'm not sure. Some people say they shoot slugs with a choke, and I would just say read the manual and you're gonna be good. One person says I shoot slugs with a modified choke in, but I don't recommend using any tighter choke than modified. I'm just going to say, just from a safety standpoint, just read your manual. You know. Yeah, because they're all going to be different. They might say you can shoot this or can't shoot that. So yeah. All right. Well, guys, I've kind of gone through all the different ideas and topics for discussing the home defense shotgun. And again, it's hard to beat a good pistol and a flashlight for home defense, but you know, we got a lot of people out here that just buy the shotgun because they're inexpensive, they're available. There's a lot of utility. You can use it for hunting, and you can use it for, you know, maybe some trap shooting and so on. There's just a lot of possibilities here. So, you know, you make the best decision that works best for you. But maybe we just threw some ideas out there, and with most shotguns still readily available, I mean, and accessories and ammo for the most part, consider picking one up. Maybe go the 20 gauge route. And Alaskan, thanks for bringing that up about the ammo. I never thought, hey, the 20 gauge is in stock. Usually when you look around, that's plentiful and on the shelves, and it's going to be at a fair price if you can get it at your sporting goods store. So that might be some of the last of the unclaimed ammunition that's out there. Man, I want to go buy a 20 gauge right now, and I don't even need one. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll just kind of go around and let everybody plug their channels and give us their outros. And then we'll go ahead and call it a day and let you guys start your weekend. So I'm going to go outside and go play in the snow. Alaskan, anything you want to say before we go?
No, just thanks for letting me come on. Sorry for my background noise here. But
don't worry about it. They're moving snow out front right now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm up early at 6 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, thanks for having me on. I've got a 7mm hand load, 120 grain tip TSX. It's flying coming out this Wednesday, and I've got some 300 blackout versus 223 for deer hunting coming out.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
I got some stuff. I've got the house to myself today in a few hours, so I'm going to just be editing videos for God knows how long. So
you're making me feel lazy, because if you can go out and film in these snowy conditions, I should probably be doing the same, because I can. It's just I just don't want to. Now it's 4 below. It's like, oh my God, it's not fun out there. I can handle 20, 30 degrees, but man, once you get below 0, it's just you get numb really fast.
Yeah, that's very true. Between 0 and 20 degrees here isn't as bad as it would be there, because relatively there's no wind compared to like the Midwest or even the South.
Oh, 10 miles an hour with 0 is just 10 to 15 is just ungodly. It just bites, you know? Yeah,
absolutely. And we have no humidity here whatsoever. So, like I always tell people, I'm from Georgia originally. I bundled up in Georgia at 35 degrees like I do here at 15, just because the humidity difference makes you feel so much colder in the winter. There is that, but I do go out and film and snowshoe and pull a drag sled full of my stuff to get into the place where I shoot, so that I can shoot by myself. And it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. I usually don't go by myself, but sometimes I do.
Smart.
Yeah. But,
heck, moving up here to Kansas City, I don't have any clothes to deal with the weather up here.
Foos, I can send you some stuff. I got tons of stuff in the closet. You want some sweatshirts and some snow pants and gloves? No, dude, we're 2XL. We're 2XL. You're 2XL, aren't you? We need to have a clothing drive for Foos.
Some 2XLs are tight.
Some 3. Well, it depends on the brand, because some 2XLs are more generous than others too. So, yeah.
3XL.
I'm standing at 300 pounds, so that's sad, but
it's all right, man. It's all right. Got to quit eating that KC barbecue, brother.
I haven't had any yet. I've been up here for 4 months. I haven't had any yet. 5 months. What the heck?
Oh, hey, Alaskan, what was that? What were you going to say?
I was just saying that's 3X the love, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, make sure you check out the Alaskan Ballistics channel, and if you want to learn from the authority, in my opinion, on 10mm, that is the way to go. That's another one I need to pick up too. It's going to be an expensive year. All right. And also joining us here at the last second, we got some Squib load. Squib, what's going on? What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I just popped in for the outro.
That's all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you being here. Make sure you guys check out the Squib load channel. Are you getting your coffee, or are you going to go back to bed?
No, I've got some Arbuckle's Mexicali brewing right now.
All right. Do you have any comments at all before we go on shotguns for home defense? Anything you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I don't know jack about shotguns.
That's okay. That's why we're here, man. We're here to learn and check out what's available and see what's going on and see what's on the market right now and see what people do and have a discussion. I mean, in the end, we kind of came down to the idea that really the better home defense option might be the pistol with a flashlight or, say, the AR. And we've talked about those things ad nauseum. But again, there's just, and the fact that shotguns are readily available and the ammunition's out there, and 20 gauge especially, and the parts. I mean, the parts are everywhere. A person can really get themselves a nice setup. So, you guys, make sure you check out the Squib Load channel. It's all good. And Foos might be back here in a second. He might have ran off to go do something. Off, he's checking his clothing size, so I can send him a box if he needs one. Defense Dad, anything we say before we go?
No, just thanks for having me. Check out everybody's channels and be safe this weekend. It's cold.
Oh man, baby, it's cold outside. Monday is going to be brutal here. If anybody's in Nebraska and you're ready for Monday, yeah, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. So, all right, make sure you guys check out the Defense Dad channel. He's got a lot of great content, great production in the videos, lots of good information, and you can learn a little something that you didn't know before. And last but not least, we got Single Shots in the house. Anything you want to say before we go, bud?
Oh, just check out the channel and everybody be safe out there. I've got a bunch of content that I'm going to be putting together here and releasing sometime in the near future. I think everybody will enjoy seeing.
Cool.
So take care. God bless everyone. America moves by truck. Be safe out there.
Absolutely. Just real quick here, Thomas Reese is chiming in. Cylinder bore or improved cylinder for rifled slugs, rifled barrels for sabot slugs, and if you shoot slugs through a fixed choke barrel gun, just watch for bulging and muzzle cracking. So there you go. Something to keep in, and read the manual, because the manual is going to tell you whether or not if it's safe to shoot through it. So yeah. I'll say it. So DJ Play Nice Foos has a message for you. He says, no barbecue in Kansas City yet. Go hit Arthur Bryant's. Arthur Bryant's. Yeah.
Hey, Travis.
Yo.
I did have one thing, and not to do a shameless plug or anything, but
yeah, no, let it out, man. Go ahead.
Someone out there does think they want to do the shotgun and they want to see, I have a video on how I did mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's an older video. The production quality is crappy, but it does show you things you can do without spending a ton of money and just make your shotgun a little bit more usable.
Sure. No, that's cool. I think it's a good place for people to start. Plus, you're just kind of giving your honest experiences with something. If something doesn't work or something didn't, if it's garbage or crap, you're going to hear it from us, because we're not paid by the industry. I mean, we're just here to talk about our experiences with these things and what works and doesn't work. So it's always get yourself informed. So,
well,
all
my
right.
point with that real quick is just like, you don't have to spend a ton of money to make something a little bit more serviceable.
Oh, and we were showing some of those pistol grip setups, $80, you got yourself a nice furniture set, or just go with what you have and just enhance it with a few bolt-on upgrades and make it a little more usable for you in your environment. So this is true. That's the good thing is, and if you want to go out there and go get that Benelli M4, go get it. They're nice. I almost bought one the other night. They're pretty cool, except I wanted to buy a pickup instead. So,
I played with that one last night. It was $16.99 though, just to correct you.
Oh, I thought it was $17.99. I don't know. I was okay.
It was cool. Okay.
Ah, man, that would just be. But a brand new one's like $100 more. So it's like it's not really a good used price. I was a little. I wish it would have been a little bit cheaper, but they're going to sell it anyway, so they don't care. So. All right, I got one more comment over here on the YouTube side. Show the Benelli M4 sexy. I wish I had the Benelli M4, but I don't. All right, so let's see what we got here. So over here on the YouTube side, we got a little Kingpin, Steadley, Tommy Gun, Thomas Rees, DJ Play Nice, New York Outcast, MKJO's out there, M Gabriel in the house, Irish Wrist Watcher. That is so hard to say before 10 a.m. any day of the week is out there watching today. I can't even talk. Wheeled and Well Armed is out there. R4 Mississippi Thunder was talking about ammo production going back in, or shotguns going back into production. Lou's Basement joining in today too. Thanks for watching, bud. I appreciate it. Ozzy Orsborn in the house as always. Let's see. Bernabe Sanchez is out there too. Hopefully we don't miss anybody. I think we cover about everybody that's out there. You're Us on Oz 79 was out there joining in. Sam of Anarchy 92. Dominic Graves. I think Scott P79 was out there. Netflitter watching as always. Anybody I missed, I apologize. Smeggy 42, definitely checking it out. And I think that's pretty much about it. So Justin Grimm also. All right, and Texas Bullet. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. This has been Season 3, episode number 175 of the Caliber Corner. Setting up your shotgun for home defense. We learned a little bit today. We saw what kind of options were out there. I do want to apologize if every episode is expensive for you. Foos, go ahead.
Mossberg did say modified is good to go with slugs.
Okay. So. Modified choke tubes or just fixed modified or what?
Modified choke, well, either one.
Okay. Cool. So there you go, guys. But again, always check the manufacturer. Don't, you always, every gun's different, but that's good to know. So. All right, so we're going to go ahead and
buy a $60 or $70 choke.
Yeah, you don't want to blow that out and the barrel. And then you're out a $600 gun, too, on top of it. So, all right, Steadley says adios. M. Gabriel says peace out. Peace out. There you go. You guys all take care. Have fun. Be safe. And we'll talk to you soon, probably next Saturday, and we'll have another fun topic for you. So, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Adios, Alicia.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye-bye, Felicia. Adios, Felicia.